The Vietnam War left scars that echoed far beyond the battlefield, and Hollywood's response to that tumultuous time brought forth a wave of films that would forever change the landscape of war cinema. These movies weren't just about explosions and gunfire. They captured the brutal emotional toll, the psychological fractures, and the deep moral dilemmas that soldiers faced. But what made these films truly unforgettable was the risk filmmakers took, both in their storytelling and their own personal sacrifices. Some directors pushed their limits, putting their health and careers on the line to bring these stories to life, while others exposed uncomfortable truths that Hollywood wasn't ready to confront. From the tension of boot camp to the jungles of Vietnam, these films tackled the war from every angle, offering a raw, unfiltered look at a conflict that would shape the world for generations to come. Let's dive into the 10 Vietnam War films that not only changed cinema, but also reshaped our understanding of what it means to survive a war. Platoon, 1986. Oliver Stone's Platoon remains one of the most intense and impactful Vietnam War films ever made. Drawing from his own experiences as a soldier, Stone presents the brutal realities of combat and the psychological toll it takes on those who fight. The story follows a young recruit, played by Charlie Sheen, as he navigates the moral complexities of war. As he is thrust into the chaotic and violent environment of the jungles of Vietnam, he must reconcile the contrasting leadership styles of two sergeants. One, a ruthless figure, played by Tom Berenger; the other, a compassionate yet conflicted mentor, Willem Dafoe. The film delves deep into the emotional and physical toll the war takes on the men who fought, revealing how the environment strips away their humanity and forces them to make life-altering decisions. Stone's direction and the performances by the cast create a visceral experience that puts viewers directly in the shoes of soldiers caught in an unwinnable conflict. Platoon is raw, gritty, and unrelenting in its portrayal of war's devastation, and its impact on the soldiers' psyches long after they've returned home. It's a film about survival, brotherhood, and the harrowing effects of war, making it a defining piece in Vietnam War cinema. The Killing Fields, 1984. The Killing Fields is a gut-wrenching portrayal of the Cambodian genocide, focusing on the true story of two journalists, Sidney Schanberg and Dith Pran, who witnessed the rise of the Khmer Rouge regime. Directed by Roland Joffé, the film takes viewers through the unimaginable horrors faced by the Cambodian people during the 1970s, as the regime wiped out a significant portion of the population. Schanberg, a reporter for the New York Times, works alongside his Cambodian translator, Dith Pran, who becomes a victim of the regime after the fall of Phnom Penh. The film is not only a recounting of historical atrocities, but also a deeply emotional story of survival, friendship, and sacrifice. Dith Pran's journey, from his time in the killing fields to his eventual escape, is both harrowing and inspiring. The Killing Fields is notable for its authenticity. Many of the cast members were actual survivors of the Cambodian genocide. The film's portrayal of real-life suffering, along with its unforgettable performances, makes it an unforgettable cinematic experience. It captures the human cost of war and serves as a reminder of the importance of never forgetting the tragedies that occurred, making it an essential film for understanding both the Vietnam War's impact and the larger scope of the region's turbulent history. Good Morning Vietnam, 1987. In Good Morning Vietnam, Robin Williams delivers one of his most iconic performances as Adrian Cronauer, an irreverent and free-spirited DJ who brings much-needed humor to the airwaves during the Vietnam War. The film, directed by Barry Levinson, blends comedy with drama, as it follows Cronauer's attempts to boost troop morale through his unconventional broadcasts while clashing with military brass. Williams's portrayal of Cronauer's fast-paced, improvisational humor made the film a hit, and his ability to shift to more serious moments added depth to the character. The film explores not just the laughter that came from Cronauer's unique approach to radio, but also the darker side of the war, showcasing the absurdities of military bureaucracy and the emotional toll war takes on both soldiers and civilians. As the film progresses, Cronauer finds himself caught between his duties as a radio DJ and the pressures of confronting the harsh realities of the war. Good Morning, Vietnam is ultimately a story about the power of humor in the face of adversity, the importance of free expression, and the impact of war on personal identity. With a perfect mix of satire, sincerity, and poignancy, the film became a cultural touchstone, winning Williams a Golden Globe for his performance. Uncommon Valor, 1983. Uncommon Valor is a gripping, action-packed film that tells the story of a group of Vietnam War veterans, led by Gene Hackman's character, Major Scott McCoy, who set out on a dangerous mission to rescue American prisoners of war, POWs, still held captive in Vietnam. While the premise may sound like a typical action flick, Uncommon Valor delves into the emotional weight of the mission, as the veterans face both physical and psychological barriers from their past experiences. The film takes an intimate look at the trauma the characters have carried since the war, making it more than just an action movie. Hackman's portrayal of McCoy, a man haunted by the memory of his son who was left behind in the jungle, adds a layer of depth to the narrative. The film's intense action sequences, including the team's high-risk rescue mission, are thrilling, but it's the emotional connection between the characters and their shared experiences of loss and redemption that make the film stand out. Uncommon Valor doesn't shy away from the human cost of war, and through its portrayal of the veterans' camaraderie and their determination to right a wrong, the film stands as a testament to the sacrifices made during and after the war. Rescue Dawn, 2006. Werner Herzog's Rescue Dawn is a harrowing survival story based on the true events of Dieter Dengler, a German-American Navy pilot who was shot down during a secret mission over Laos in 1966. Christian Bale delivers a transformative performance as Dengler, capturing the sheer determination and unbreakable will to survive against all odds. The film focuses on Dengler's struggle to escape the brutal conditions of a POW camp and survive the harsh jungle of Southeast Asia, where he and fellow prisoners of war endure unimaginable torture. Herzog, known for his commitment to realism, put his cast and crew through grueling conditions, including filming in the same jungles where the real events occurred. Bale, in a dedication to authenticity, lost 55 pounds for the role, embodying the physical and emotional toll of a man pushed to his absolute limits. Rescue Dawn is not just about survival, but about the strength of the human spirit in the face of immense suffering. Herzog's documentary-style approach to the narrative gives the film a rawness that pulls the audience deep into Dengler's plight. While the film's limited commercial success prevented it from reaching a wider audience, it remains one of the most realistic depictions of captivity and escape ever put on screen. The Green Berets, 1968. John Wayne's The Green Berets is one of the most controversial Vietnam War films ever made, offering a pro-military perspective at a time when anti-war sentiment was at its peak in the United States. Directed by Wayne himself, the film portrays the Vietnam War as a noble effort to stop the spread of communism, with Wayne playing Colonel Mike Kirby, a Green Beret leading a covert operation to thwart enemy forces. The film was made during the height of the war, and was one of the few films to receive full cooperation from the U.S. government, allowing it to use actual military equipment and access to military bases. As a result, it's often seen as a piece of wartime propaganda, designed to boost public support for the war effort. Despite harsh criticism for its one-sided portrayal of the conflict, The Green Berets was a box office success, showing the deep division in American public opinion. The film's portrayal of the military as heroes defending freedom was at odds with the increasingly vocal anti-war movement, but it nonetheless became an important historical artifact. Today, it's regarded as both a product of its time and a fascinating look at how Hollywood attempted to shape public perception of the Vietnam War. We Were Soldiers, 2002. We Were Soldiers is a powerful and emotionally charged film about the first major battle between American forces and the North Vietnamese Army at the Battle of Ia Drang in 1965. Directed by Randall Wallace and starring Mel Gibson, the film is based on the memoir by Lieutenant General Hal Moore, who led the American troops into combat. The film focuses on the bravery, sacrifice, and heroism of both the soldiers and their families, showing the war from both the battlefield and the home front. One of the film's most striking aspects is its unflinching portrayal of the reality of war. The battle scenes are intense and realistic, depicting the chaos, confusion, and raw emotion of combat. Gibson's portrayal of Hal Moore is grounded and deeply human, capturing the heavy responsibility of leading men into battle and the emotional toll that war takes on a leader. The film's depiction of the personal sacrifices made by soldiers and their families adds depth to the story, making it more than just a war film. We Were Soldiers is a poignant tribute to the soldiers who fought and died in Vietnam, as well as a meditation on the cost of war and the resilience of the human spirit. It is a stark reminder of the true cost of combat, both on the battlefield and at home. First Blood, 1982. Before Rambo became a pop culture icon, First Blood delivered a powerful, nuanced portrayal of a Vietnam War veteran struggling to adapt to civilian life. Sylvester Stallone's portrayal of John Rambo, a former Green Beret turned drifter, is one of his most memorable and layered performances. The film tells the story of Rambo being wrongly harassed by a small-town sheriff, leading to a violent confrontation that spirals out of control. While First Blood is often remembered for its explosive action, it's also a deep exploration of PTSD and the alienation felt by veterans returning home from Vietnam. The film takes an apolitical approach, focusing on Rambo's inner turmoil and the societal disregard for his sacrifices during the war. Stallone's performance, coupled with the film's intense pacing, creates a sense of unease that lingers long after the action has subsided. The film's success would launch an entire franchise, but First Blood remains the most grounded and emotionally resonant of the series. It's a film that doesn't glorify violence, but examines the psychological scars of war. Through Rambo's struggles, First Blood offers a sobering look at the long-term effects of war on those who fought in it, making it one of the most poignant films about the Vietnam War era. Hamburger Hill, 1987. Hamburger Hill is one of the most realistic and unflinching Vietnam War films, focusing on a single, brutal battle for control of a hill in the Laotian border region. Directed by John Irvin, the film depicts the battle for Hill 937, known as Hamburger Hill, because of the high casualties suffered by American forces during the assault. Unlike other war films that focus on personal stories, Hamburger Hill focuses entirely on the grueling, dehumanizing nature of combat, showing how the soldiers are pushed to their physical and mental limits. The film is notable for its depiction of the senseless violence of war, where soldiers are sent to fight for a strategically insignificant objective, leading to devastating losses. The battle sequences are intense and realistic, with the film's commitment to authenticity making it one of the most tactically accurate portrayals of Vietnam